Hey there, and welcome to You Talk. We highlight stories from across Canada, the diverse cultures and communities living here, and organizations and individuals that help make life the best it can be. I'm your host, Ryan Funk. The Scandinavian Culture Center of Winnipeg is a volunteer-driven organization with members joining clubs of the 5 Nordic countries: Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, and Sweden. Sonja Lundstrom is the president of the Swedish Cultural Association of Manitoba. We talked about some exciting news at the center, including info about their new mural.
There you go. There we go. So now the video is going, my audio is going. Fantastic. Well, thank you, Sonja, for joining me again to talk about your amazing culture and some of the amazing things happening at the center. So how about we just start with a short introduction of who you are and maybe a little bit about the center.
I'm Sonja Lundstrom. I'm of Swedish and Icelandic ancestry, which I'm extremely proud of. I'm on the board of directors of the Scandinavian Center, president of the Swedish Cultural Association, and chair of the mural committee at the center. And I'm very proud of the center. It's a bringing together of 5 very strong countries with their rich culture, and together many hands were able to do many things that not only enrich our lives and the people that come there, but the whole community. And in fact, and all our sister countries are so pleased to have a center to come to.
Oh, of course, having a place where everyone can kind of celebrate their culture is a great thing. Currently, right now, I'm trying to get like a bunch of Mennonites involved to take part in Ethnofest as well. It's been a challenge to just find like a centralized kind of community or committee that's kind of together. We don't really have a kind of like a center out here just to talk about the culture of it.
We used to be like that. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary this year. And we met in churches. There were different orders, the Sons of Norway, Iceland, Dogren, the Vasaland. But with Folklorama that started in I think it was the 70s, we realized that we couldn't do it separately. And so we started together at the St. James in the Cultural Center and with Vasaland. And we formed the center 60 years ago because we realized we could do it much better together. And there were so many, as independent as we are, there were so many similarities.
Yeah. And, some of the things coming out there are so amazing. I remember over kind of like the Christmas kind of a season, there's a bunch of content being put out, and there's still content being put out. And it's really cool stuff.
Well, we really celebrate. We celebrate the dark and the cold because we're countries of the dark and the cold. And for example, in Iceland, they got the little people coming out, the pot liquor, which adds a lot of humor and fun. And it's a time of coming in the darkness, actually being in the darkness, using that as a creative thinking time, and bringing in candles and light that bring in that special light that celebrates the darkness. And so we celebrate Lucia, we celebrate the Snowfest with the lights, and it's about celebrating.
Fantastic. So before, you mentioned a little bit about you're on the mural committee. How about we chat a little bit about that? The 60th anniversary of the center, and you're creating a mural. Tell me about that. What's going on?
Okay,
that sounds exciting.
I was in Transcona and I saw all the murals there. And I've been throughout the city looking at murals, and I thought, there's nothing that says anything about our Scandinavians and the rich contribution our ancestors made to this country, to this city, to this province, and this country. And we have to have a visual representation of that. So with it being our 60th anniversary, we embarked on an aggressive fundraising campaign and managed to raise $40,000. So we're completely resurfacing the building and have our famed Charlie Johnson, world-renowned Charlie Johnson, creating the very exciting art that's going to be of our heritage and of our culture, a wraparound mural on the long side wall, north facing wall, and then the east wall. So it's a big lit up at night. I tell you, it's going to be bigger than the Golden Boy.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. What sort of timeline are we looking on for this? When can people?
This summer. It's being done this summer. He's already started leveling it. He's working on it now.
Oh, super excited.
That's
awesome.
We're very pleased about that. I'm very proud of it.
And another cool thing that's going on is a patio. What could you tell me all about that?
Well, during COVID, we went into takeout dinners and lunches. And so now that it's patio season, we've got a permit for a patio. And on July 23rd, we're going to have a patio. And because it's when we would usually have Folklorama, it's going to feature Folklorama food. So it's going to be our little mini Folklorama. Anybody wanting to be part of that has to make a reservation, though, at SCC reservations at shaw.ca. It's all on our webpage. Can I give our webpage?
Yes, of course.
www.Scandinavian Center, one word, center, TRE.ca. That's www.scandinaviancenter.ca. And make your reservations. All the details are there. So we're very excited about that.
That's super cool. So something in our last conversation we chatted about a little bit is kind of, the celebration of kind of the light and the dark over winter, but also the celebration of, the new season, the sun, the warmth.
That's midsummer.
Midsummer.
That's midsummer.
Tell me a little about that.
We've down our outfits and it's celebration. In the Scandinavian countries, it's been dark until now. And now it's getting to be 24 hours of daylight. The whole country stops work as of in between the 26th and the 30th of June. And what it is, and we do it here, is you all get together and you celebrate. You celebrate in costume. You out early in the morning picking the flowers. That's part of it. You got to pick the flowers. Then you make the picnic and you pick the flowers, you make the garlands for your hair and you wear the costumes and you parade in the streets with your violins and accordions and the carts and everything down to a main place with the maypole that also is decorated with the wildflowers, with the rings on it and the flag on the top. You put that into the ground and then the music starts. And it's crazy play like music. We're frogs, we're playing the violin, we're just having a hoopin' doopin' good time. Okay. And after that, people go then and eat. And the herrings with the boiled potatoes, the hardtack, the gravlax, the cheeses, and the sweets, of course, is a big part of it. So it's a big day, a weekend celebration everywhere, be it at the summer house, be it in town. And then it's summer. Then everybody retreats to the bush and to the lake to be in nature, because we are, as countries, are very, very connected to nature because it's given us our life. And so if anything, our Scandinavian culture really has everything connected in reverence of nature and our love of being in water, in swimming, in boats, in canoes, biking, walking. Have to be in nature. It feeds our soul. And when you're there with all that sunshine, what else? Only to then, in August the 26th, it's Crayfish Day. And then we bring in the crayfish, we eat the crayfish with the same gusto and celebration, because now it's getting darker, the kids are going to school, everybody's returning to work. For example, the schools are already closed down in the summer and the hospitals totally closed down. Nurses and doctors come from other countries like Iceland to Sweden and Norway. They go back and forth so they can have a holiday. And they really, no operations, nothing. It's just essential services. It's a very interesting way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea to kind of have those like massive like injections of serotonin into people's minds and psyches Because yeah, like you mentioned, like it's dark all the time in the winter, and yeah, of course you got to come out and celebrate and enjoy the sun once it's out.
Have you noticed? I mean, all Scandinavians got enthusiasm and a get up and go and get it done. Just do it.
Yeah,
Just
that high
do it.
energy, excited. And in terms of that connection to nature, I think that's incredibly important, and that's something that a lot of Western countries should probably adopt more. That relationship and respect for nature, much like indigenous cultures, just that connection to nature that a lot of the westernized world really doesn't have.
Well, like for example, our Swedish club is going blueberry picking, and we're going to go mushroom picking. It's our social event, and like it's so exciting to go mushroom picking. I've got my special mushroom picking basket I got from Sweden.
Nice.
and blueberry picking the same. So we sell everything in nature is a celebration, and that's why midsummer is a big celebration, because it comes from the flowers. It comes from everything's bursting out all over. That's where it really began. In Denmark, they also celebrate it with a bonfire and they burn a witch. Okay, and so every country does it a little differently.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. But yeah, those celebrations, cultural activity. Part of that is you're going to Ericsson now that COVID is finally wrapping up. People are getting their vaccinations. Things are opening. Celebrations 2022. What can you tell me about this Ericsson?
Well, I want
trip?
to tell you, first of all, the Swedes finally wrote, the Icelanders write lots of books, so do the Swedes. But we finally wrote one about the Swedes in Canada, the invisible immigrants. And what this means, unlike the Icelanders, we all know about them, the Swedes went any place. They are so happy to be living in the bush. And so it's disseminated all over the place. And so we as a Swedish club take our culture and heritage on wheels and find those Swedes in the bush, in the woods. And so we've had trips to Sprague and Meadows and Sprague and and Lac du Bonny and Lac Loup. And we knew the original ones in 1800 were in Ericsson, and finally found a contact. So we're going there June the 4th, 2022. And every place we go, we find a Swedish band. They're in the woodpile. We bring our Swedish food. We bring our Dala horse. It's a 12-foot Dala horse. We bring our dancers. We wear the outfits. We bring our food. And it's magic. We don't know one another, but when we get together, we do know one another. There's some kind of memory in us. And the passion that emerges, it's like lighting people on fire. It happens every place. And when we pick a place, it's like magic how the doors just open. We went there for 1 week. We found a hall, a band, we found leaders. Everybody wants to help make it happen. It's very exciting.
Oh, that does sound awesome. Just from the photos you sent me last time, it seemed like a grand time. And everyone and it's not just getting there, the celebration, the whole preparation. It sounds from
the party's already begun. Yes, we went there. We met so many people in the cemetery. We put a flag on every Swede. Most of them are Swedish, but we met many people there, not just the dead ones. But they're all sort of something Swedish. Oh, like they're so assimilated, But I know from past experience what we all have a universal language when we get together with that Swedish music and the food and the stories. It's very special. It really ignites the passion for our culture because of that. And that's what we're looking for.
So you mentioned the Dala horse.
It's a symbol of Sweden. It has been for a long time. In the agriculture age, people were in the woods and they loved to carve, anything to do. So they were carving little horses because they saw horses. So when they got into the industrial age and they're sending stuff abroad, they paint a horse and send it in the package. First thing you know, the people wanted the horse more than the product they were shipping. So Dalarna in Sweden is where they make all these things, but there's replicas of them in the airport, all the embassies throughout the world have the dollar horse. So we've got one on wheels that we've painted and take it with us as a symbol. The Swedes are coming. Here they are. So what? So look out. So what? Excuse me. Wonderful, wonderful representation of our culture.
That's fun. Yeah, it's kind of like your banner as you're
That's
you're
right.
coming
Here we
into the
go.
community.
We
That's
stopped
awesome.
a bit of traffic on the number 1 highway last year.
Mm-hmm. So also there's been a lot of stories that have been told on your website. What can you tell me about that? Well, why was this initiative kind of started?
Because of Manitoba 150.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we were going to have a cultural days, but because of COVID, we couldn't do it. So we made it a virtual cultural day, and we put of our artifacts or stories. And every month we sought another story, and it's built. We're still doing it now, and stories are still coming in, and these are rich, rich stories. So we've expanded our webpage to include these stories. And some of them have been the spoken stories. Some of them we've got them in writing with some pictures. And like the story of the Swedes at Ericsson is so, and I saw the butter house, and, it's those things that, how the people, in spite of all the adversities, and they were so many, how their culture and beliefs helped them survive. And every culture brings who they are to make Canada the rich country it is, as far as I'm concerned. But the Scandinavians had a way of doing things in the rocks, because they're used to that, and the cold and the dark, that brought a certain essence about our culture to different parts of Manitoba. You can really feel it when you go to Ericsson or any of these places. Lac de Bonnie, there's a whole section. The graveyard's full of them. And Lac Lu, and many of them used to have Swedish names, okay? Mm-hmm. Ericsson was called Stockholm. Lac Lu was called Ostersund. The church was called Småland. But it changed over time, but so those roots are there, and we want to celebrate them.
Of course. I mean, it just sounds like amazing celebrations of culture and individuals, and it's something to inspire all of us to kind of feel that same passion for our own backgrounds in history.
In honoring Manitoba 150, we nominated Gunvor Larson for the Manitoba 150, and she won the award. She's 98 years young. Okay. And she came to Canada in 1950, her and her husband. She's been a leader, teaching the Swedish language, as a Swedish cook, caring for all the Swedish hockey players. Her place was a home away from home. The list goes on and on. Everybody's been touched by Gunvor. She's such a gift. And at 98, she's still giving because she wanted this cookbook created, okay? And it's got the best recipes you could ever imagine in it. And so this has been another one of the tributes to one of our matriarchs of the Swedish community that we're really proud to have.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fantastic.
We pride ourselves. We do it. We make things ourselves. Like we make the horses. We make everything. That's part of doing it. We make the garlands. We make the dollar horses. Mm-hmm. We make everything, including the food.
Yeah, you get an even more sense of pride when you're the ones creating it.
Right, and we like to do it together. Okay, at Christmas we make the tomtas, and we make the flatbread, and we have baking bees, and we make the herrings together. It's the fellowship. It's the fellowship of the shared culture that is bonding.
So
enriched us.
For someone who isn't of Scandinavian background or Swedish background, can they come and take part in these celebrations as well?
Oh, definitely. Now, the different clubs have, just contact the center and they'll put you in touch with because there's individual clubs that have activity, the Scandinavian Center that has activities. We welcome people, we're very inclusive, welcome all people. We want to learn from everybody. And we've had exchanges with other cultures where they've invited us. We've been to the Aboriginal Center and shared our cultures, and they shared theirs. We shared ours, and we saw the many similarities. And we've been to the Irish Club because it's next door. We've been to the Greeks, but just invite us and we'll be there.
Yeah, that sense of fellowship seems to be kind of a keystone of the culture.
It is. Gunvor says it every day at 98, and she's died and come back, but she says it's the fellowship of the Swedes that have kept her going.
Oh, that's amazing.
And and so we're all committed to caring about one another, and about our families. And the other thing, we're very intergenerational. We got the Swedish folk dancers, all ages. We've got so many children dancing.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've got all the language classes. We got a small drama class. We have knitting clubs. We got weaving clubs. We got stamp clubs. we make Viking costumes. We got the Viking club.
There's a little something for everyone.
That's right.
That's amazing.
And if the Mennonites want to come and talk to us, come and talk to us.
Yeah, fantastic. I'll hopefully when this story comes out, we'll get people inspired, and as COVID and more people get their vaccinations, we'll finally be able to have these celebrations in person again. Okay,
but listen, I want you to know, even though we're separate, we've kept connected. We have a Keep Connected club. Okay, we phone one another. Okay, you have to think of, there's all kinds of ways of keeping connected. And we have to use every means that we can. And that has been a very rich experience. As a result of that, we found out one of our 90-year-olds had surveyed the spot of the center of Canada. We just had a birthday party there the other night, dancing in front of them. We're getting out of COVID. Yep. It's finally time. I'm so excited. To finally meet people and take part in these celebrations. I mean, it's been great, connecting with people virtually and, growing emotionally with friends and family, but nothing beats being able to go to a big party. Yeah. So as things continue to open up, kind of what are the hopes for the Swedish Cultural Center and the Scandinavian Culture Club? What are kind of the hopes moving forward? Are there any events or celebrations that are coming up? Well, the mural will be a big one. Our 60th anniversary. We weren't able to plan any event about it, but so we'll see what will happen. We'll be releasing our book where we're writing all the history down with pictures and everything for our 60th anniversary. And of course, we hope to do Lucia and all those wonderful things that we keep doing every year, the children's party and the Lucia and the making of all the crafts, and our market, our Christmas market is a big event we really enjoy. And people getting together, we do something and we get together. Fantastic. And this summer we're having small outings like to pick blueberries or walk in the woods or something when we can. We have to go by what the regulations are. Of course, because we can't put anybody at risk. So it's hard to plan anything right now. We've had concerts in the local park here with our Silly Tones that are a Scandinavian band, and sometimes we just have lunch picnics we've got an accordion player that Kim Hasselrey loves to play the music. So just bring on the music. That'll get people. So we're trying to be very creative. Awesome. We're looking for mushrooms next. Oh, mushrooms. I want to show you my basket. Look at my mushroom picking basket. Oh, amazing. Isn't that beautiful? Made in Sweden. And each where it inserts, it makes a flower. And it's birch. It's fine birch woven together. Mushroom picking is as much about dreaming about doing it. Then it is going in the woods and walking in the woods. Then it's the picnic after, and then it's the swim. And then you come home and eat the mushrooms. If you have any stories you'd like us to share or communities we should highlight, leave a comment down below and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date with everything You Multicultural is doing. I'm Ryan Funk.
This was You Talk, and have yourself a good one.